Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL, and this is my remake of one of the Blindsided Creations. The pattern originally was the 81102, which is a 14 strings bracelet, which kind of, when you divide that in half, that becomes an odd number. I made it a 16 strings, so that way when you divide it in half, it's even. That means we can have an even amount of both the dark and the light color. In this case, it's a nice kind of reddish purple. Even though it kind of looks, now that I see it on my computer, it looks like a dark purple, but it's kind of a reddish purple and white. And the contrast is brilliant on this one. I love that. I also love how easy this bracelet was. Honestly, by comparison, between the two, this is the very beginner friendly, easy to do, no little hiccups that are going to come jumping out at you, and if you make a mistake you don't get a color there. None of that kind of stuff that we had with the other one. So for that, I definitely rate this as a much nicer bracelet to make. It is a little bit bigger, so it means it took a little while. It took like an hour and 15 minutes, give or take. But for a 16 string bracelet, that's probably pretty good. Probably has a lot to do with the fact that there are large areas that just sort of, it's not, well, there's some segment knotting, there's some just really long rows, things like that. But because of the spirals, you're almost making chevrons to a certain extent, and then when you get to the middle of it, you kind of set it into the spiral and come back around it again. It's kind of hard to explain other than when you see it happening. And all the spirals are kind of going in all sorts of different directions, which was kind of fun. Also, like I keep saying that a lot, because it only repeats the spirals 4 times, it really didn't feel like, you know, like that constant repetition that you have to worry about. It's you just stayed working on a segment and realized, okay, that one's done, go to the next. And that for me makes it feel like it goes faster than it really did. But yeah, this is a relatively easy pattern. This is something I think beginners can get into. Might take them a little bit of practice to get the tension when you keep changing the directions of the strings so much, but that's good practice, I think. I liked it. I really do. I really liked making this one. Also, you can kind of see when you bring out the row all the way to the end, and then the next one is inside of that, and the next one is inside of that. It makes it real easy to just kind of gauge where you are at any given point in the pattern. And I think that helps to prevent making mistakes. Even if you aren't crossing off things as you go along, you can really kind of see how the pattern's moving and where things are, which was nice. Like, you know, we've been challenging me here with harder ones, and that's probably why I wanted to come back to this, was I knew that it didn't have to be so difficult. And yeah, it worked out really, really well. It does use some of the strings more than others. So again, I always talk about the fact that I cut my string in thirds, 1/3 of a skein. So that way I'm kind of covered when it comes to whatever. You wouldn't necessarily have to do that. In this case, you could, if you notice that one of the strings is getting used a lot more, you could trade it off with one of the ones that wasn't, because it's only 2 colors. That's really a possibility. But I did the 1/3 of a skein. I just let the colors kind of go the way they would go. And yeah, there's just some that just absolutely get used considerably more than others. Not so much I had to worry about tails or anything like that. I was fine. But I do know that some of you like to cut it close and use only as little as possible. And for those, just a heads up, this one could leave you in a mess. So yeah. there are definitely, like, I did kind of consider going back to the pattern and kind of changing. So you'll see the bump out that I'm working on, like right here. I considered making it shorter and then maybe having like something go different at the end of it, but I kind of decided I would leave it because this was sort of the element from the previous one, and decided that I really didn't want to mess that up, because it is an interesting point of the bracelet. It's not just a spiral, there's this other added little something going on, and it only does it twice in the bracelet, once on the upper half and then once on the lower half. And yeah, I kind of figured it's fine the way it is. Want it to be interesting, you know. Oh, and I went with, okay, so I have saved, if you want to go look at the webpage now, I saved two different versions of the pattern. One where it sort of looks like it's doing the same thing over again, and one where it's flipped. And I went with the one that's flipped, so that I labeled that one as version 1. And it's really, it's an interesting take on it. They all seem to be going in sort of different directions. But when you hold it sort of sideways, it kind of looks like those glasses where somebody's supposed to be hypnotizing you, you know, the spirally kooky things. It does sort of look a little bit like that, and it is definitely really different. But yeah, it's really cute. It's a fun little pattern. You only need 2 contrasting colors in order to really pull this off. Yeah, so I mean, any colors you want, seriously, it would be fun. And if you do it, I'd like to see it, so you can actually share those over on Discord, because I like to see what you guys get up to with the patterns that I create. If you want the patterns early, all you gotta do is become a member, because I share all my patterns nice and early with my members, as well as the fact that, like, while I was actually making this bracelet, I had the chat things open, so anybody that wanted to hit me up, and yeah, they could have. That was an opportunity there. Plus, you can, if you want to just actually watch it in real time, you can go back and watch those videos. I don't just delete those live streams after I'm done. And in fact, there's, as of today, there's 199 of those live streams from behind the scenes. So yeah, next week we hit 200, which is amazing to me. Like, I know I put a lot of effort into all this, and it is kind of wow. There's 200 behind the scene videos for members to check out, and you can check out whether I was making stuff or other stuff that goes on around here. It's all there for you to see. So, and it's like $4 in USD. I don't know what that is conversion wise to whatever country you're in, but $4 USD, not too bad. You get the patterns early, you get 10% off of anything in my shop. You get to join the Hangouts on the first Sunday of the month. I think there's some more stuff. Patterns early. Yeah, there's just a bunch of bonuses for this. Oh, you get these little smiley face things too next to your name when you're actually commenting on either the video or in the live stream, so everybody can see that you are special, you know. So yeah, good reasons to join. And besides that, it helps support the whole channel. Actually, let's thank the people who actually are a member already, because that support goes into me buying string, as well as the other things around here, the lighting, the microphone, all that stuff, all came because of members' support. So yeah, it goes to a good cause. I realized I needed to share that bit before I got too much further, because we're already past the halfway point, and these videos, they seem to end a little bit abruptly. kind of catch me off guard and stuff. So yeah. Yeah, this was a fun one though. I really did enjoy how you came out in chevrons. It kind of got increasingly smaller till you got to the middle, put in the middle, and then chevrons start coming the other direction to close it off. Yeah, it just goes so quick, and the pattern itself is pretty. I don't know what else I could really tell you about it other than the fact that, you know, this won't be that hard to make if you're interested in trying this one. I'm not sure this is a really good one though for doubling it, like doing double wides or more. Like obviously a lot of the patterns I use, I end up seeing whether or not I could make a bag out of it or something else extraordinary. This one's just gonna have some diamonds and spirals here and there. I don't really see it as something that would be that amazing as a double wide or more. I could be wrong. I mean, if you guys make it, I definitely want to see that. I always get kind of curious about like what else, and that sometimes, like this was a curiosity thing, like what would this be like if I did it with 2 more strings, right? Sometimes the curiosity gets the better of me. I end up making it 16, that would be what, 32 string to double it? Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to imagine it, all right? Because you can kind of picture like where the diamonds are on the side. Those are just going to be squirrel diamonds. You'll have more spirals going on. But what about that little bump part? What is that going to do? That's sort of different, isn't it? So yeah, I don't know. Plus, when you double it, you get an extra row. So there's a possibility that maybe doing a little more with it. If I keep this up, I'm gonna end up making this double wide just to see what the heck happens, because that's sort of how I roll. Is like it starts out with just a little what if, and then before you know it, I'm trying something insane. I don't know. I got other plans though. I have other things that in the works that I want to get working on. So maybe kind of hold off on this idea for a little bit. Yeah, see, we're already into the last spiral. Like that's the beginning of where the white one's gonna be the yep. Hopefully you guys enjoy these videos of me actually making it. Oftentimes there's like some kind of, you know, insight into it. Going into this, I kind of knew that this would be easier than the other version. I didn't realize it would be quite as easy as it really turned out to be. That's probably the big news of the whole make, is that it really did turn out, you know, to be a very simple bracelet overall. Beyond that, this is sort of like just doing something that you already know pretty well. But that's okay. That's kind of nice. There are times where I definitely like I went and started on the right hand side, just that way I knew that I would have the longer row going to the right where the purple is. So like there are times where I kind of hedged my bets and made it easier on myself, but for the most part, just kind of stick with the pattern. It works out fine. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Next day. Well, I'll be back with another pattern and trying new things, and I'm kind of actually really excited about that because yeah, this whole month was going to be nothing but Blindsided Creations, but now I'm kind of like, what if I redo this? What if I change something? And that's kind of more fun to me now that I've had a little time to think about it. So that's what we're going to be doing, a little insight into where we're going with things. But yeah, here comes the end of this one and the big reveal. So thanks for hanging out with me. It's been fun. I will be back. All right. So as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.